Welcome to part one of our simple Python turtle graphics game using classes. In most of my other tutorials, what I do is I kind of type on the screen as I'm going along. And this time I'm going to try it a little differently. I'm just going to kind of scroll down through and explain what's going on. And so that way you don't have to listen to a lot of keyboard clicking. The video will be a bit shorter. And you can just pause, and copy the code, or go back and read things, or listen to things again. Okay, so it's going to work my way down through. This is a Python game, so you need to have Python installed. I'm currently running, I think, Python 3.5, but this should work in Python 2.7 as well. There's nothing, I think, special to Python 3 that I'm using. And so we kind of get started. Python, the core language, there are some modules that come along with Python, and what we do is we import them. So in this case, we're going to be importing the turtle module, which is very similar to a language called Logo from way back when, and invented by Seymour Papert, or Paper, I'm not sure how you say it. And so what that does is that brings in the turtle module into my program, and what that means is I can then use the turtle functions and capabilities to make my program. So the first thing we need to do is to set up our screen. Now, again, if you're just getting started in Python, this little hashtag means that it is a comment. So this code does absolutely nothing. It's just there for human beings to understand what's going on in the code. Okay. So what we do is we create something, basically an object, the window object. I used WN. Could have used anything here. I should have made it longer, but WN. And this is something called the screen method, and it's part of the turtle module. So what this does is this gives us a way to access our screen. And what I want to do is I'm going to change the background color of my screen to red. Okay, so notice the double quotes there. Could be single quotes as well. So you see this kind of pattern all the time. We've got an object of some sort. In this case, it's a turtle screen object. We see a dot and then a method in this case, because we have parentheses. And this method, in this case, changes the background color. We can also change the title of our window. So that's the thing that you see at the top. And I just put simple Python turtle graphics game, class version by Tokyo EdTech. That's my Twitter handle. And the thing with classes is I have another version of this on my website that doesn't use classes at all. I would probably start there if you're not familiar with any of these concepts, and then that way this will be a lot clearer for you. Okay, so getting started. Every game needs a player. So I'm going to create my player class by using the class keyword. I'm going to call it player. In Python, the convention for classes is to capitalize the name of the class. And what I'm saying here is that this class, player, is a child class of the turtle class. So in Python, like the turtle module, I can import the turtle module. I can use something called a turtle. Turtle's like a little thing on the screen, and it has different attributes and abilities. So we're going to be building on top of that to use that. So basically player is what is known as a child class, or you might hear subclass of the turtle class. So everything the turtle can do, so turn left, turn right, move, etc., my player can now do, which is pretty cool. Okay, so this is called the class constructor. So when I actually create the player, this function is called. It's got 2 underscores here and 2 underscores after, and this is how we set up the defaults for our turtle, or in this case, our player. So self is a keyword that I'll explain in a little bit, but basically self refers to that particular object. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, the player class is a child of the turtle class. Okay. So because of this, we need to actually initialize also our parent class. Now we don't see the parent class in this code because it's hidden inside of this module. Okay. But it's the same thing. You see the double underscore in it, and the parentheses and self. Okay. So I'm initializing my player. Then I'm also initializing my turtle. Okay, self. So what I want to do, these are methods from the turtle class. So pen up, this puts my pen up. Self changes the shape of it to a triangle. Color changes it to the color white. And speed equals 1. This is a little different to, well, actually, no. We'll say that we'll keep that as it is for now. So this is our speed. So this part, speed, is not part of the turtle class. Okay, this is something that we are adding to the turtle. The turtle doesn't normally have this type of thing. This is how fast we're going to move on the screen. There is a speed method, and we may get to that later. But for now, we'll just leave it the way it is. And basically what I want to do is I'm creating a class method called move, because I want my player to move. And again, we use self, and I'll explain that better in a minute. And we have the method forward. Okay, this is a built-in method of the turtle module and the turtle class. So what that does is it moves the turtle forward on the screen. And what we said here is we're going to move it at the speed of the current turtle, and we've set that to 1. So this is what's known as a class definition. So what we said is we've created our class, and this is just like we've defined it. We haven't actually created an instance of it. We've just created it and said this is what a player is. It's a child of the turtle module. When we initialize it, we need to initialize that. We need to initialize the parent class. And then here's some things we want it to look like. We want the pen to be up. We want it to be a triangle. We want it to be white. And we're going to give it its own thing called speed. It's an attribute. Then we've created a class method called move. And when we use this move, it moves the turtle or the player forward at the speed that this is set to. Okay. So now here, you'll see here, this player refers to this. Okay. This player is what's known as a class instance. So this is an example of the player. Okay, so this is our actual player object that we're going to be using. So I'm creating a player, and it is a member of the player class. Now, all I have here is self and self. Self comes from this. So self is player. Self is player, 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 player. I could call this, let's say this is player 2. Okay, I could do that, and then it would be player 2, player 2, player 2, player 2, player 2, but we don't have a player 2. So we're going to keep that like that. Then what we want to do is we have our main loop, and what that's going to do, while true just means it's going to repeat forever. And what we do is we want to do player, which is the name of our instance, and we want it to move, which is the name of our function or a class method, depending on how you want to say it, and that's going to move it forward by 1 in this case. Let's run it. Okay, so we've got a red screen, we've got the title, we've got our guy moving, and that's all he does. So we have a white triangle, and it's moving forward continuously. So that is all for that lesson. A couple key points. The program up to here, okay, this part only happens once. So this is basically where we're setting the program up. The main loop happens over and over and over and over. So it just keeps going and going and going. Okay, that is all. See you in part 2.